rip.
Oh.
And that is on stream. Brilliant. Hello and welcome, everybody. Apologies for this one. I've got an incredible... I'm going to clip that as well and keep that saved somewhere special. But we are here for the Texas circuit. Alex and I have been talking for about 5 minutes, maybe longer, about how excited we are for this one. And I didn't hit the go live on the YouTube.
It's all right. Rookie hours, but it's fine. It's a new game. It's a social race. We are here in Texas. And you know what? We're going to hit the rewind button and go back to the start. So where were we? Texas, what a circuit. F125, a new generation game, a new era. As we'll go straight on to comms of... everyone in qualifying as well as Larry Tulkman's at the top of the time as well. But Texas, what a track. We've got a bit of everything in that first sector. Silverstone, Magnussen, Beckett's inspired throughout. Then you head to the middle sector, down into turn 11. Main overtaking opportunity, down to turn number 12. And the final sector, mainly medium speed corners. And turn 19 into turn 20, the ones that you can catch out, especially with track limits. But Texas, Circuit of the Americas, here we go.
Definitely, indeed. Luca Rapassa then, I believe, is on a lap time in 17th. An invalidation as soon as I say it. That's unfortunate for Luca Rapassa. We'll go on board with Ryan Grob, and Grob has unfortunately invalidated. Tom Robertson invalidated. Ryan down in 20th has it invalidated. So who else can we go on board with? P12. Daniel has invalidated as well. I think they're coming into the pits, though. I think a lot of drivers are coming in on their in-laps now, which is possibly... an interesting one for it, but before let's change back to what I was going to say. It was great to see Cameron's dad first message in the chat. Usually from a console side for the last 3 or 4 seasons, I've had that message up there from console tier 1. So it was nice to see again in this one as well. There's a load from a console side of things from a few seasons, over the last few seasons. Cameron Dowds, Joe Murphy, who else can we got? Luca Rapassa, Ryan Modeler there, Leo Lund, just some of them. Tony Hatala there as well, I believe was console as well. Larry Tolke, just names that I know. Riyad Sprogus as well. So it's great to see so many good races here. And there's a comment in the chat, why are the good drivers not doing social races? These guys are good. These are like the ones knocking on the door of the F1 esports scene. These are the next, Thomas Ronhars, the next Otis Lawrences, the ones that are Alfie Butchers. These are the next guys, aren't they?
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more there. You've got everyone coming through the ranks. Like you said, everyone. You always start on console, in my opinion. I started League Race on console, and you move up to the big world of PC, and that's where it gets very feisty in the world of League Racing. But yeah, like you said, it is good to see names coming through from console into PC too as well, and just influences this higher competition. But yeah, I'd say this is a very, very strong grid today, and like you said, definitely knocking on the door of F1 esports as well. So it'll be interesting to see on this game how it shakes things up. Who can push that extra mile? Who's got it? Who's got his handle in favour of their driving styles? It's going to be interesting to see, and I'm sure these 20 drivers today can put on an absolute show here at the Circuit of the Americas.
Let's see how they'll go on. Gabriel Quintino then just coming through this Sector 3, or just starting Sector 3. Let's see what sort of lap time the Alpine driver can produce. I believe Tom Robertson is actually in the pits. Sorry, it's Luca Rapassa that couldn't get the lap time in. Angelo, who we were talking about when we thought the stream was on, when the stream wasn't on, has just taken provisional pole with a 1:30.2. So relatively good banker lap time with just under 10 minutes of the session remaining. And these guys are really going to push on at the moment. Here's Gabriel then across the line, up into P8. A relatively good time as well. And we can already see some pockets of drivers doing very similar lap times.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going to close up as well when we get these second runs in. We've got a lot of drivers in the 0.7s from P6 all the way down to P10. And yeah, it's going to get even closer. But Angelo D'Hortensio with a 0.2 early doors, decent one to get in. And sure, they're going to have another run as well in qualifying as well. But yeah, got quite a lot of drivers to watch out there. And who else on a lap out on track at the moment?
Let's see what Andre can do in P10 currently with 1:30.7, one of those 0.7s that you've mentioned already, with a fair few of them in that bracket. It's nice to see so many cars together, but into the hairpin of turn 11, which if you get wrong can cost you an awful lot of time, can't it?
Absolutely as well. Let's see what Andre can do on the route down to turn number 12. But yeah, that exit out of turn 11 can be massively important. Obviously needs to get the traction for the DRS to close up to make the moves into the heavy braking zone at turn number 12. But to rotate his car quite nicely in the Mercedes, slight dab of the brakes into turn number 13, roll it round turn number 14, and quickly approaching turn number 15. Wide out and in, kissing the apex on the inside and heavy on the power once again. Now long right-hander, multi-apex corner here as we head into the final two corners at turn number 19. Like I said earlier, can easily catch you out with track limits on the inside and on the exit, but on the brake zone in turn number 20 and heading it around the final corner. DRS wide open and Andre puts it at the top of the times by 8 milliseconds. Decent time.
That is a really good lap time here as well. Ryan Grob then heading into the hairpin of turn 11 as well. It seems like we're just popping onto new drivers. Drivers that hit turn 11, they're on a lap time. So let's see how, well, this Ryan, because we've got a few Ryans in the grid tonight, how Ryan Grob can hold the pressure tonight into now turn 12. The heavy braking zone, taking as much of the curb as possible to try and gain as much time as possible. How have you found so far the snap of oversteer, which was I was just about to allude to? How have you found the game with the steering and the because it is quite different from the F1 24 game?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels a lot heavier, but then you've got to be slightly careful sometimes with the rears and getting on the power. You've just got to test the waters, and it just takes practice around tracks. Here, like at Texas, and Ryan Grob quickly commentate around the final corner. DRS wide open, tail line for the Red Bull, puts it into P12. There's few iffy moments with the rears throughout that lap, like at turn number 15. But yeah, a lot heavier cars. I do definitely prefer it over the last game. The handling seems so much more realistic and so much better. But I'm hoping it provides some better racing as well, of realistic factors come into play, like I said earlier on, the engine overheating quite some more in the DRS, long DRS trains. But yeah, definitely going to affect the racing, and let's just see how it pans out.
Let's hope for the best, as we saw Tom Roberts coming through turn 11 and now into turn 12. So let's see how Tom Roberts, another PlayStation legend, I want to call him, because he's been around on the PlayStation side of things for a little while. He's still got a lot of pace about him, and it's showing as he is in the PC scene now as well. It's looking relatively hooked up this lap. Let's see if they can get themselves into the 130s on this time. Back end stepping out a little bit on the exit of turn 19. I wonder how much that's going to have cost their lap time. But across the line for Tom Roberts, it's a 130.7 to start things off from south. And Luca Rapassa is just about going through that triple right-hander.
So yeah, it's about getting that bank lap in. Quite a common 0.7 bank lap. Always Luca Rapassa cuts the corner a bit too much and invalidates his lap time. So the V-carb comes into the pit lane, and lap over for Luca Rapassa. Needs to get that first lap on the board and doesn't have a lot of time to do it as well. At the moment, Andre Molnar at the top of the times of 30.280, and Angelo D'Ortenzio on another lap in that first sector and about to fly through the S's in that green kick Sauber. But here we go with Angelo D'Ortenzio. Let's see if they can put himself further at the top, and not improving in that first sector, actually down by 1/10 of a second. So Angelo D'Ortenzio and invalidates it, and for even worse, look at turn number 9. So yeah, D'Ortenzio going to have to go again. But that could have been a feisty run, but this time around, not going to improve.
Still 5 minutes left of the session remaining, as I thought Leo Lund might be on a lap time, but I think they have pulled out of that one. Gabriel Quintino then is on a lap time, is 007 up on his lap. So he's James Bonded at the moment on the first sector. Let's see if they can continue through. Going into turn 11 now, we've seen a fair few drivers take this corner absolutely spot on. It's pretty spot on for Gabriel at the moment as they head on down, the back straight, so to speak, really, here in Texas. It's looking relatively solid right now.
Absolutely down this 1.1 kilometre straight, get the car hooked up on the fronts and roll it through the middle sector, and improving by 0.2 of a second. So looking pretty feisty, and could be looking to challenge the top 5. So Gabriel Quintino making his way around turn number 15 into the final sector. And let's see what's on the board for the Alpine, this tight and technical, with Camber changes sector and into the final 2 corners at turn number 19. Now heading into turn number 20, using a bit of the battery as well as we head into the braking zone on the curb on the inside and on the outside. DRS wide open, and Gabriel Quintino puts it up into P3. That's a great lap time, 4/10 improvement, and the Alpine slots it on the 2nd row.
That is an incredible lap time, only 2/10 up. That would have been, well, knocking on the door at turn of the top 5 in the 2nd sector, but it's absolutely smashed it out of the park in the, 3rd sector there to get the lap time in. And it's, looking at it right now, who would you say is in the prime position to take pole? Is it the current man, Andre, or is anyone else capable of knocking him off?
I feel like it's anyone's game here to show what they've got. Obviously, I've seen a few little mistakes early doors on these 1st and 2nd laps, so I know there's a lot of time in it for a few of these drivers, but at the moment, Andre's got it all hooked up, especially in the 1st sector. When I was looking at his lap, it looks so neat and tidy. So yeah, Andre Molnar looking very good at the moment, but 2 minutes 48 on the clock, and it could all definitely change. But yeah, there's 10ths in it, and if you get a hooked up lap like we just saw Gabriel Quintino do, you can definitely be in the hunt for pole position here in this social race.
Daniel in the TF10 team is heading into turn 11, will be the first driver to set their final runs, unless that Mercedes just behind is really trying to... It's got past the Ferrari. I wonder if they're going to go and try and get past the Aston Martin and all this. That could be a possibility. There's no gentleman's agreement here. Straight past for... That is Andre Molnar deciding he wants to be the first one to take the final lap and just set the marker. And, well, he's heating those tyres up maybe a bit too soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So wants to be first out on the track, and let's see if it slows down in the final sector. But yeah, pushing it slightly on this out lap, so maybe just trying to get to the line and get this over and done with, see what he's got in the locker. But Andre Molnar, yeah, just rushing through the traffic as we're going to head into the final 2 corners and onto the first lap and the final lap of these final runs. 1 minute 30 on the clock. Andre Molnar heads around the final corner. Current provisional pole sitter, and heading to try and improve further, improve by 5/10 on that last lap. This time around, is there anything left in it? Can Andre Molnar go even further at the top as it heads into the blind left-hander at turn number 1, one of the unique turn 1s we have throughout the whole calendar? But Andre Molnar flying through this 1st sector, round turn 3, 4, into turn 5, round turn 6, and got to keep the car in there, and nice hooked up. He's improved by 1/10 and a bit in that 1st sector. He's absolutely flying so far in the Mercedes. He's currently on provisional pole. That was absolutely spot on in that 1st sector. I haven't seen it done any better than that. But as we head into turn number 11, bit of a correction on the entry, but still not bad at all. Use a bit of battery on the exit as we head down this 1.1 kilometer straight, DRS wide open on the route down to turn number 12. Andre Molnar is absolutely flying, and surely this is going to be further top at to grab provisional pole and take it away from the likes of Angelo Di Hortensio as we head in the middle sector. He's actually lost a bit of time, guessing that was at turn number 11. Is there anything left in this final sector as we head around turn number 15 on the power slowly once again, creeping up through the gears, and now the long right-hander, keep the car in there, now into the penultimate corner here at the Circuit of the Americas. Throw the car in there, gone slightly wide, and that's a huge mistake, and that's Andre Molnar's lap well and truly over. What a shame.
Such a shame, because it looked like it could be something special there. Let's go aboard. I was going to go on board with JST, but he's a little bit further down. Tony Atala has lost out there as well. Let's see what Cameron Dowds can do coming through turn 19 into turn 20 for the young Scotsman, flying through the final corner, power down and using all the exit he can, and it's not really an improvement, unfortunately, for Cameron Dowds. Where else can we go on board with people at this moment? JST is going into the pits. It's all going wrong for everyone, it looks like. Larry Tolke, can they improve? They've just gone into turn 12, but that looked like a scrap as well. It was really scruffy turn 12, and it's, well, shown on the lap time because they're a 10th down.
Yeah, absolutely. Not many improvements so far. I think the ones to watch is Angelo Di Hortensio in the middle sector, still not improving and just under a 10th down on his initial laps. But so far, no one improving so far out on the racetrack. And yeah, the ones to watch now, kindly overs. I think Ryan just went wide as well in the final sector. So who else out there on the track? Joel Marquez is still not improving. They're seeing the final corner, round turn number 20, using the DRS and coming across the line for the Aston Martin does not improve. So the final man to come across the line is Angelo Di Ortenzio, and I'm pretty sure that was pole position.
Wow, what a lap time over the end there. Took us by surprise, especially because they were a little bit down in Sector 2, but it didn't matter. Look how close it is, though. Angelo taking pole position by a nice margin. Andre Molnar, well, we thought they were going to get pole in it. What could have been had they not messed up that final lap, unfortunately, in second. On the second row of the grid, we've got Gabriel Quinto and Leo Lund, Larry Tolke, Joe Murphy, Joel Marquardt, Riyad Sprogis, who we've not mentioned at all today, Ryan Grob and Luca Rapassa rounding out the top 10. Then we've got Sergio, Tamas, Ryan, Thomas, Tom Roberts, Tony Hitala, Cameron Dowds, Keaton Lutt, JST, Patrick and Daniel rounding out the rest of the drivers as well. Let's go back to this one. Qualifying was absolutely that was really interesting. It peaked and troughed with the times coming in, but the mistakes, they're already pushing, aren't they? They're all, you can already see some. It might be a social race, but they're really wanting to showcase their stuff right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a mega final sector from Di Ortenzio to pull it out of the bag. The gap was only 8 milliseconds out there. So, yeah, it was close before going to the final runs. But, yeah, must have gained it all in that final sector. It was about 600th down in the first two, but in the final must have pulled another 10th out of the bag. But, yeah, very interested seeing qualifying, pushing so hard. And it's going to be interesting to see today who can come out on top in this race. As finally on this game, we don't have to do any silly restarts to get straight into the racing action. I haven't said that since F1 23. So it's a pleasure to be back. Smooth operating, as Carlos Sainz would say, on F1 25 and straight into the racing action.
It's no longer World Online Restart, as the console guys would say. But yeah, no, it's great not to be able to do that. A quick one for the chat. Let us know who you think is going to take victory tonight. Alex, I'll ask the question to you as well. Who's prime position after that qualifying session?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Andre in the Mercedes. He didn't get to show his final true pace in the final run of qualifying because we saw that sector one. It was absolutely mega as we head into the lights. Once again, 5 red lights for the social race here at COTA. As the silence breaks and the battle begins, Angelo Di Ortenzio does get away well to Andre Molnar with the inside line on the harder compound tyres as we head down to turn 1. The blind left-hander as we go in 3 wide in behind. Leo Lund side by side with Joe Murphy. Andre Molnar dropping behind. It's still 3 wide. I've just seen a kick Sauber in the air. Interesting stuff in the background, but Angelo Di Ortenzio with an absolutely flying start. The McLarens going side by side. Ryan coming out on top. Andre Molnar getting the position back on Gabriel Quintino. It's been a mega first sector. Gabriel Quintino fights to the inside line and gets back ahead of Andre Molnar. Great start from Di Ortenzio. Leo Lund in P2 and Gabriel Quintino in P3.
I think it was Gabriel Quintino and Andre Molnar coming together and forcing that Kick Sauber up into the air. And I think the Kick Sauber has got some damage, but there's 3 wide here between the Alpine and the 2 Mercedes. The Mercedes are boxing that Alpine in. Poor Gabriel doesn't know what to do. Andre Molnar is the lead Mercedes out of all that. And Joe Murphy, I think, has had an absolute rocket of a start. Well done to them as we go a bit further down as Sergio Sobrino there trying to defend from Luca Rapassa. It is all kicking off really in this race.
Absolutely. I think one man to look at in this early stages, Andre Molnar, is on the harder compounded tyre, so might be struggling as we saw off the start. I think Luca Rapassa just making a move on Sergio Sobrino and still side by side around the long right-hander. Sergio Sobrino with the inside line and Luca Rapassa forced on the marbles and forced wide. But there goes Sergio Sobrino doing the right thing and just keeping P8 and forcing the other driver well on truly into the marbles. But here goes Luca Rapassa back down the inside line on the route up to turn 1. Here comes the McLaren of Ryan flying to the inside line. He hasn't just got Luca Rapassa, he might be getting Sergio Sobrino as well. His contact between the pair and sent spinning is Ryan in the McLaren, and it's a disaster for him. He's cut the corner as well and down to P11. Horrific for him.
That is unfortunate because he was a passenger in that corner cut. You don't often get to see that there either. Corner cut penalties popping through. JST and Daniel fighting. JST dropping down the order a little bit. The Cameron Dowd's getting through. It's a little bit of a squabble for those guys. They're literally all bunched together. And we've not really seen the front runners because of all the squabbling happening all out everywhere else. Leo Lund is right behind Angelo there in the lead. But Andre on the hard compounded tyres, as you said, might be struggling. But actually, it's his teammate dropping away.
Absolutely, yeah. Joe Murphy struggling to keep within a second of his teammate. And like I said, it's going to get interesting now to come into play with these engine overheating, as I think Andre actually might have just made a mistake on the exit of turn number 12. Has actually backed himself up in the mix with Joe Murphy and Gabriel Quintino and dropped out of a second to Leo Lund and Angelo Di Ortenzio. So yeah, bit of an error there out of turn number 12, and that could definitely make it interesting with the front two might be able to just break away. So Andre's going to have to really push in the final sector to try and get that DRS back, but I don't think he has. But obviously we've seen in qualifying how good he is in that first sector. But on the harder compound tyres, is it possible to get back within a second? But Joe Murphy is definitely going to put his teammate under pressure now in the DRS, and Andre might just be coasting without it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. I've just gone back because Tom Roberts and Ryan were fighting side by side through the triple right-hander of 16, 17 and 18. But there is front wing damage to that McLaren of Ryan as well. Let's head back up to the Mercedes squabbling away. It's good to see Joe Murphy fighting away towards the top, but at the moment he's got his teammate to worry about. Just ahead on the harder compounded tyres, are you expecting to see a simple one-stop like we had in the past and F1 24?
I mean, it's been a bit more interesting this time with tyre wear, that's for certain. It's been a lot higher on this game, and it's been a lot difficult to control the car. But yeah, I think it will just be a one-stop. I think that will be the case again. Andre Molnar will be going quite a lot longer than the medium runners. I think Luca Rapassa going for a move on Sergio Sabrino and gets it done down the inside at turn number 12. But yeah, I'm expecting another one-stop here at the Circuit of the Americas. Degradation, medium to high range, especially in that first sector as well. But yeah, 25 laps, and I'm guessing these mediums will come in at around lap 12, lap 13 range. So yeah, we'll have to see how it pans out and how tyre wear affects. But yeah, I'm expecting another one stop.
Yeah, Leo Lund hasn't been able to, displace Angelo in the lead at the moment. There is that break in the train between Luca Rapassa and Ryan Grob as well. But Luca Rapassa trying to catch back up with it on the harder compounded tyre, doing very, very quick stuff at the moment. But penalties coming in thick and fast. And this is not unheard of this early in a game in the social race season.
Yeah, as I've heard Larry at the back in the kick Sauber has fully desynced as well. There has been a few issues with desyncing as well on this game early doors. Hoping that goes away. But yeah, it's same with kind of F1 23 that had quite a few desync issues. But on the F1 25 game, I'm hoping it does slightly go away. But yeah, I've had a few of them early doors, and it's a shame to see him out at the back with desync. That's for certain. But Angelo Di Ortenzio will be sitting happy at the front. His engine won't be overheating like Leo Lund's, that's for certain. But yeah, like I said, definitely going to come into play that in the dirty air on this game, and let's see if Leo Lund might just try and push past his time. Man is a lot closer on the exit of turn number 11 and flying down the straight into the final corner of sector 2, and then well and truly past. Leo Lund takes the race lead for the first time, and Angelo Di Ortenzio sits behind in P2. But yeah, swap of positions for the front two, and it's Leo Lund who sets to the front.
Bit of engine cooling for Leo Lund, which he'll be, I'm sure, over the moon with. I was expecting more drivers to pull to the left-hand side of that long straight down the back to try and cool the engines a little bit, but not many at the moment. I suppose it is still early doors in this race, lap 4 of 28, and we are doing, well, the full half distance here, and it's looking very good. No safety car as of yet, and there goes Angelo to the inside, just a little bit down the straight. Are we going to see more and more of that as the race goes on, do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I think we will. I've seen it so far as I think we've already got our first retirement of Tony Heitel in the pit lane. It's a shame for him in the Ferrari and out so early. But yeah, I think definitely when this DRS train, we will see a lot more movement to the inside line, getting out of that dirty air. I think further back, we've got Daniel Gottschalk and Cameron in the Williams going side by side. I think Daniel Gottschalk gets it done and stays ahead into turn number 14. But yeah, in the DRS train, especially in that mid-pack, we should see a lot of people trying to break that toe and go to the inside line to cool the engine down. And this time around, we'll see if Angelo Di Ortenzio will be close enough to make a move down to turn number 12 and get back ahead of Leo Lund. Let's have a look.
Yeah, down the straight they go, and I think Leo Lund is knowing what is happening straight away. He kicks Sauber past, goes back into the slipstream effect of the kick Sauber ahead, and well, it looks like that could be the way it will go for these two, especially with Andre behind on the harder compound of tyres. That is something they've really got to be wary of, especially now as they are in the DRS range of the front two.
Absolutely. Andre looking to come a bit more alive. He's gapped Joe Murphy by quite a lot, and he's just under a second, and I think he's just about to go over as well. So Andre has broke the second pack, and he's now joining the front two, and looking a lot better on the harder compound of tyres. I know tyres do degrade a lot earlier, and it can be a struggle, and a longer run on the mediums, and that's how the hard's going to come into play now. We'll have to see the likes of Luca Rapace as well, see how he does on the hards early doors compared to the mediums. But are the medium runners starting to struggle this early, lap 6? I mean, interesting.
It is interesting indeed, because if that's the case, then maybe this is going to be tyre saving mode for the medium runners, and Andre might be able to get through and build a little bit of a gap, which is not something we see this early in a race, is it? We usually see the hard runners, they're able to hold on, but just at the coattail of the medium runners until they go into the pits. Not so much this game.
Yeah, absolutely. This could really throw some more strategy curveball into the mix for Andre, especially going into new seasons as well. Our hards may be better to start on if you can just keep in the train and wait for the mediums to die, and have the second stint on a much lighter car on the mediums when maybe there's a few more gaps in the mix as well. It might treat the tyres a lot better. So yeah, it might be interesting to see who can make it work on the mediums. But the hard's looking very promising in this first stint. He's kept him alive in the DRS train, and yeah, he's done a very good job to get back up to Leo Lund and Angelo Di Hortensio and put him under pressure. So yeah, hard's looking the better call early doors, and also Luca Rapace right on the back of Ryan Grob as well.
Yeah, this is, well, it's all over the place, isn't there? There's a few drivers. The gap that was between Luca Rapace and Ryan Grob just a few laps ago was over a second. It's now under a second. Ryan struggling, as well as Joe Murphy struggling with the with the drivers around. Sergio just behind Luca Rapace is struggling to keep up with, well, Luca Rapace, which, I think there was a little bit of desync there, because it looked like Luca Rapace was just going to career into the back end of the Red Bull ahead, but thankfully not. But Ryan Grob is struggling to Joel ahead. Yeah,
absolutely. It's close. He's trying to get in the DRS of Joel Marquardt as well in the Aston Martin, but it's going to be close when we come down to turn number 11. And Ryan Grob, let's see if he can keep ahead of Luca Rapace. And so far, as we head into the breaking point, the gap so close, just under 3/10 of a second. And ordinarily going to the inside line is Luca Rapace. But I'm sure as he sets sights ahead of Ryan Grob, and he's absolutely flying through, as Ryan Grob didn't get that DRS to Joel Marquardt, and that is Luca Rapace well and truly through. Also, further up the pack, Leo Lund fighting his way through, and Angelo Di Hortensio is still side by side. Andre Molnar, though, going for the switch back on them both. He's got past Leo Lund. He's getting past Angelo Di Hortensio around the outside for Andre Molnar. It's still side by side with Leo Lund, who's still fighting for position. The hard's definitely in favour of the medium compound tyre. He's now going down the inside of them both and around Angelo Di Hortensio. Andre Molnar says to the front and is looking so promising on these harder compound tyres. What a move from Andre Molnar. He gets ahead of Leo Lund. He gets ahead of Angelo Di Hortensio, and now fighting for position on the route up to turn number 1, as Andre Molnar has to settle back behind Angelo Di Hortensio. But incredible stuff for the front three, fighting once again, and that has allowed Gabriel Quintino to join the party and join the front three as well. But who's going to come out on top this lap around?
This is absolutely crazy, and I think actually Andre's done the right thing, and, well, I say letting Angelo back through, but being in this position at turn 11 in second place, the hards are obviously the tyres to be on right now, and he might be able to pull away. But you're quite right, all this squabbling has allowed Gabriel, Joe Murphy and Luca Rapassa to catch back up, because Luca Rapassa, let's not forget, he's also on a set of hard tyres. But here they are, down the back straight for lap 8 of 28. Just over 20 laps remaining of this one. And, well, at the moment, Andre hasn't been able to make the move. He's been forced way to the inside into turn 12. He has made the move stick, but has he gone a bit wide for it? No, he's got the move done nice and cleanly. As Leo Lund waiting in the wings to see if there's any bones to pick off here. But at the moment, it's now Andre leading the way.
Yeah, Molnar needs to try and gain that bit further of a gap in this final sector. Let's see if he can do it. Maybe use a bit of battery to try and stay ahead of Angelo Di Hortensio on the route down to turn number 1. And this time around, look how comfortable he looks on a harder compound compared to the mediums. It looks like a bit of a drag on the mediums, that's for certain. But Angelo Di Hortensio is going to be too far behind to try and get back ahead of Andre Molnar. He's done enough in the final sector. It's all about keeping ahead in that first. So Andre Molnar has looked so much more promising in that first sector. As you already see, Angelo Di Hortensio breaking the toe further behind Gabriel Quintino. Luca Rapassa, going to the inside of Joe Murphy and getting through. And Luca Rapassa also flying on the hards. So degradation definitely in the hard runners' favours. The medium struggling. Andre Molnar up to P1. Luca Rapassa climbing up to P5. All up for grabs in this first stint, but the hard runners flying through the order.
Right, Modler in the pits as well. I think there was a mistake out of turn 19, which cost them around by the 10-second penalty to be served. And a front wing change is not going to be handy at all. Andre Molnar trying to break the toe or break the DRS. It nearly happened, but it wasn't on this occasion. They are a second over in front of Angelo at the moment. But that is incredible. The hards have massively taken control of this Grand Prix. So Luca Rapassa, Riyad Sprogas, who's just made a move on Ryan Grob, and Tom Roberts, who are all in this front train, have made the right decision to be at the front of all this. This is, well, turning out to be quite an interesting game of, well, motor racing chess.
Absolutely as well, yeah. So the strategy so far, it's very interesting, as we're going to see the mediums come in a bit earlier and go on to the hards and get rid of those. I mean, they look awful so far. Just Angelo Di Hortensio, he struggles so much in that first sector, especially compared to Andre Molnar. So I'm wondering if this time around, if Molnar can try and gain out of that second in that first sector. But when is Di Hortensio going to call it? It'll have to be 18 laps on the hards if he comes in on this lap. But yeah, so far, Andre Molnar, I just want to see how far we can make these hards go, and how long they stay alive compared to the mediums. But yeah, when are the medium runners going to come in, get rid of those mediums, go into the hards, and how is that undercut going to work? How far ahead are they going to be when Andre Molnar comes into the pits? So yeah, 18 laps to go, and yeah, strategy's up for question. And is the undercut going to work?
I think to a degree, but we see it time and time again, don't we? That, a little bit of... you can never tell if the lockups are actual real or if it's just part of the game. But it looked like a big lockup into turn 11 for Angelo there. Pulling away from Leo Lund. He's been in a perfect position there to be able to move away from the chasing pack because Andre has been so strong. It looks like we've got the return of the engine glitch as well. That's just constantly high revved. But I try to go on board with Angelo to see how bad those front tyres are, or the medium tyres in general are, and they are looking pretty poor. Just behind Gabriel and Luca Rapassa fighting tooth and nail through the triple right-hander, and it looks like Luca Rapassa has made an absolute incredible overtake on Gabriel through there. The grip is so... well, it's there to see on the hard in comparison to the mediums. These mediums, they must be... the drivers must be a little bit, worried about how far these tyres can go.
Absolutely, as we've seen, that's the second time we've seen the hard runner overtake the medium runner around the long right hand of the right multi-apex corner. That's just a big overhaul of grip for the harder compound tyres. It looks so comfortable for Luca Rapassa, even going wider of the normal line and flying up to P4. So yeah, that's the second time we've seen it now, and the hards just look so much better compared to the mediums. And in this first sector this time around, Di Hortensio is doing a fantastic job. It's got to be said, to keeping the DRS of Andre Molnar. Leo Lund obviously starting to struggle struggle a lot more on the medium, and might be under pressure from Luca Rapassa in a few moments' time on the next lap. I'm guessing lap 12, Luca Rapassa will be right on the rear of his VCARB teammate. But sure they're going to call it soon as well. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just about to say, I think seeing with Angelo and Andre and how they pulled away, Leo Lund would be wise to let his teammate through and then just follow for a few laps because he's seen how far Angelo has gone.
Yeah, absolutely as well, yeah. It could be interesting to see if Luca Rapassa can fly through and close up to the back of Angelo Di Hortensio on the hards, but just getting a nice toe this time around. As we see further behind, it's Joel Murphy and Sergio Sabrino still side by side, both on the mediums as well, and this time around Sergio Sabrino comes out ahead of Joe Murphy as we see some pit stops coming around this time around. Leo Lund comes into pit lane and Gabriel Quintino also comes into the pit lane. So does Joel Marquardt and who else in the pit lane? Joel Murphy as well. So yeah, let's see where Leo Lund comes out. He's cutting it down to P7 as he gets the hards on and finally dispatches those awful medium compounder tyres. So here we go, 16 lap shootout on the harder compounder tyres. What can Leo Lund do to close into the front pack?
Leo Lund is going to be the one that sets it all. But I think this is perfect for Angelo, to be honest. He's in the DRS still of Andre ahead. And he's not going to be able... Well, he's not losing too much time. He's got the DRS. He's pulling over. He's keeping the engine as cool as possible, if that is a possibility of saying that there. But Angelo doing a great job of just eking these medium tyres out that little bit longer. I wonder if he's going to stay out another lap to make sure he's got that massive tyre difference to Leo Lund at the end of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Di Hortensio is doing an absolutely amazing job on the medium compound size to make him last this long and stay this close to Andre Molnar, even though his engine is probably overheating at this stage. But yeah, he's doing an amazing job to keep in the DRS. And he's actually very close on this lap as well. And heading through the final sector, coming around turn number 90 and turn number 20, I think Andre Molnar might have used a bit of a deployment there to try and gap him slightly. It was getting a bit uncomfortable around the right-handers. Coming to the pit lane is Angelo Di Hortensio, so I thought it would stay out another few laps, to be honest, but those mediums must be getting to the end of their life now. But coming to the pit lane, Angelo Di Hortensio in the kick Sauber, all eyes on where he comes out in comparison to Leo Lundskar, who's coming round turn number 19 and turn number 20. Has he been able to do an undercut or at least close it enough to put Angelo Di Hortensio under pressure through that first sector? Here we go.
Here is Leo Lund. Where is that kick Sauber as they head on down? He can't see it at the exit of the pit lane. And that is, it's going to be tight into turn one. But Leo Lund does get past Angelo. And that is... Well, net P2 right now. Leo Lund's got those tyres up to temperature as well, where Angelo doesn't. He's now got to use this time to maybe build a gap so he doesn't get into the DRS, but I don't think Angelo's going to let him.
Huge undercut there for Leo Lund. Very mega job to do it on his outlap as well. Di Hortensio is still in the DRS though, so still going to close in. And Andre Molnar will definitely come out quite a way behind in comparison to all the hard runners as well. But now... one interesting thing is Leo Lund going to get stuck in this traffic between the whole hard pack? And already closing in the gap, 1.3 seconds as we head into the final sector. Leo Lund will be closing in quite a lot. And needs to try and navigate his way through the traffic without losing much time. As here comes Angelo Di Hortensio down to turn number 12 and fighting to the inside line is the kick. Salban gets through on Leo Lund. It's a fantastic late dive from Angelo Di Hortensio at turn number 12, the main overtaking zone, and he flies through in the kick Salban, gets back ahead of the VCARB of Leo Lund.
That didn't take long, did it? What a move from Angelo. Unfortunately, it was kind of cut short because of the broadcast camera we had on there. But exactly what Angelo needed to do. And let's see how long these hard runners that haven't pitted yet stay on for. But they've already caught up to Patrick and Tamash just ahead. So it should be pretty easy going. And look at that, the grip for Angelo already. And he's past the Williams driver before they even get to turn one. Here comes Leo Lund just behind as well. Looks pretty easy sailing there for the RB as well. That's a nice move. And time's on their side for the time being, as long as they can dispatch of these cars pretty quickly.
Absolutely. It could have been a very important move from Di Hortensio actually to get through on Leo Lund and now be a lead runner on these fresher hards to get through the traffic first, because Leo Lund could be massively held up if Di Hortensio has managed to get through in a better place than Leo Lund. But here we go to the inside line once again. Angelo Di Hortensio will have the DRS as well on this next straight as he got it by the detection point. So yeah, we'll be coasting all the way down to turn number 12 and have no sort of pressure on him surely when he gets the DRS wide open, and we'll be staying ahead of Leo Lund as we catch back up to I think it's Cameron, the next runner on the harder compounded tyres, on the older harder compounded tyres. So Angelo Di Hortensio will definitely close up probably by the start of, I'm saying the middle sector on the next lap, the gap about 3 seconds, and those hards looking a lot better and a lot quicker with extra grip, and already closing in by 0.5 of a second in the middle sector and in the final sector. So yeah, Di Hortensio on a charge, and it could have been a very important move on Leo Lund early doors.
It was interesting. Angelo knows that Leo Lund is the driver that's going to be able to help him win this race, for both of them, because Angelo moved over to the left-hand side of the race to give the slipstream to Leo Lund, not to Tamas. And that is an interesting, theory for them, because they can work together, build maybe too much of a gap to Andrea Molnar or even Luca Rapassa to catch when the closing stages of this race come in. But at the moment, it's, Angelo, that is the net leader of this Grand Prix. I would say Angelo is now the net leader of this Grand Prix because Andre Molnar has yet to pit and will be undercut pretty badly.
Absolutely. Tamas has had an incident up at turn number 1. That front right end plate is absolutely gone. Quite a lot of front wing damage. So Tamas is out of the race, I'd like to say. And the McLaren's a shame for him, but it's only a social race. Just get that practice out of the way. But yeah, Andre Molnar, the gap at the moment to the leader from Di Hortensio is about 12.9 seconds. And I'd say pit loss time is probably about 21 seconds. So Andre Molnar, you could see how heavy that undercut will affect his time. Di Hortensio 12.6 behind the leader, but now right on the back of Cameron in the Williams. And this time around, let's see how quick Di Hortensio can. Oh, he's already going, flying down to the inside line at turn number 15. No waiting about, and now the Williams tried to hold it around the outside versus the fresher, harder compound tyres with the inside line. But still, with the inside line is the Williams, but flying around the outside is Angelo Di Hortensio as he gets ahead of the Williams. And now right ahead of him is Tom Roberts in the Haas. And at turn number 1, he's going to be checking his mirrors because Angelo Di Hortensio is going to be surely flying to the inside line like he loves to do through this traffic. Like it on Cameron, and now to the inside line, late on the brakes once again. The overhauler grip in his favour. Tom Roberts going as deep as he possibly can and as much as those hards can go, but Angelo Di Hortensio flies through, and Leo Lund is still yet to dispatch them both, and that's where this could really play a factor for Angelo Di Hortensio. He's got 2 cars between himself and Leo Lund, and he's absolutely flying on these fresher, harder compounded tyres.
Great respect between Angelo and Cameron, because that could have ended nasty through turn 16, 17 and 18, but they managed to get through it nice and cleanly there. But yeah, Angelo has massive gap over Leo Lund now, as Leo Lund's still behind Cameron Dowds. He can't find a way through the Williams driver. As they head on down the back straight, the DRS will be wide open. Tom Roberts and Cameron Dowds will be a little bit of a roadblock for this RB Visa Cash App, whatever you want to call it, car. And somehow Cameron Dowds is holding position, and they have absolutely boxed this V-carb in.
Oh, it slides to the inside, and Leo Lund gets a penalty as well for cutting the corner. He does finally get past Cameron Dowds. Is going to the inside line. It's Cameron Dowds late on the break. Leo Lund has to switch back, and to the inside line, Tom Roberts nearly goes to the nudge. But here we go. On the long right-hander, it is Tom Roberts and Cameron Dowds still fighting for this one. And the Williams staying ahead, but huge dive from Cameron Dowds to try and fight it with Leo Lund. And Leo Lund has a penalty because of it as well, cutting the corner. So here we go to the pit lane as well. Andre Molnar, and we had Sproggett also in the pit lane, the front 2 on track, and let's see where they come out. But Angelo Di Hortensio hits the front once again, and Andre Molnar comes out in around P11. And how far behind? He's around 10.7 seconds behind the leader. So there's 11 laps to go. It's got to be a second a lap to get anywhere near Angelo Di Hortensio. But yeah, Andre Molnar back down to P11.
It's not ideal for Andre, but if we've seen anyone that's got the pace to do it today, it is Andre indeed. He won't have to get past Cameron Dowds or Tom Roberts because they have got to pit again, who are still squabbling away. heading into turn 11. They now have Joel and Gabriel and Joe Murphy and Sergio and Ryan just in the wings as well. I still think Larry Tolke has got some desync issues, which is such a shame, especially. I know it's only a social, but you want to be racing as hard as you can, don't you? And there goes Tom Roberts on Cameron Dowds holding up the rest of the grid. They can't find a way through. It's like a London double-decker bus. There is no way for Joel to go.
My word, he's still going side by side as now. That's Joel Marquardt trying to fight it. Gabriel Quintino flying through as well. All these fresher, harder runners are trying to make them way through on Tom Roberts and Cameron Dowds, but no one can do it. Cameron's at the front of it. Tom Roberts in behind. Gabriel Quintino fighting at turn number 19 as we're heading to turn number 20. Still behind the Haas car and the Williams still up ahead, and that is Joel Marquardt and Tom Roberts sent into the spin at the final corner and flying down the order. But Joel Marquardt gets ahead of Gabriel Quintino, who's looking to the inside line. Late on the brakes is the Alpine. Flies to the inside line, go for the switchback as he's locked up in the Alpine, and that is Joel Marquardt sent spinning and hit by Gabriel Quintino. It's chaos at turn 1. It's still off the track between Joel Murphy and Sergio Sabrino. These cars are absolutely everywhere.
Oh my goodness, and Cameron Dowds has just been able to drive away from it all a little bit. There's a little bit of a kerfuffle between Ferrari and McLaren, but we're not worried about that. We're worried about these guys squabbling away like kids at a playground, and somehow Cameron Dowds has all that. There's a little bit of it's a virtual safety car. Cameron Dowds has saved a little bit longer in all this. Pit stops for JST and Ryan Modler are there going in now. And if the VSC stays out for a little bit longer, Cameron Dowds will be able to have a nice, cheaper pit stop. And this is all helping Angelo in first place because it's slowing down Andre, stopping his rhythm. This is going to be an intense final night, 10-11 laps.
Absolutely, I'm glad to have a little breather, to be honest, with VSC. Just calms everyone down a bit more. But Cameron Dowds has been absolutely spectacular, just leading the front on these older hards. He's going to be flying in the final stint. I wonder what he's going to go for as well. Let's see what a lap time comparison for the Williams will be and what he can do in the final stint. But I think we'll go green in a few seconds' time as well, as Angelo Di Hortensio has been able to fight quite a way ahead, and the gap between himself and Andre Molnar has absolutely not come down due to this car being in the way of the Williams. He's finally coming into the pit lane, and still the VSC is out. Might come to benefit him slightly in terms of pit loss time as well. As finally as well, Joe Murphy has been able to get past with Gabriel Quintino as these guys still fighting on the route up to turn number 1. Andre Molnar on the medium tyres. He gets past them both. Lovely move from Andre Molnar. That's exactly what he needed on this second stint to get through the traffic as much as he possibly can, as fast as he possibly can. As I think Gabriel Quintino, what's happened to him with a 10-second time penalty?
I think he overtook before the start-finish line on Sergio. And that's where it all helped Andre. Andre Molnar took the last bits of the meat off the bone there to get the move done, and fair play to him. What a move. Following what Angelo has done, late braking moves into the corners and have just showed the grip fully. I'm just trying to see where Tom Roberts and Cameron Dowds have come in. They're 13th and 16th. They'll show a little bit more action as we go up to the front. It doesn't look like Joe Murphy has given Andre a hard time down there at all.
Yeah, Andre flying through, and now in the top 3, back on the podium. It's been a flying start to his second stint, and the gap to our leader Angelo Di Hortensio down to 9.1 seconds. So at the moment gaining by a second and a bit per lap and flying on the mediums. But like we saw earlier, how quick are these mediums going to die? In the first stint, it was around about lap 6. But obviously with the hard runners already being out there for an extra 7 laps, it might just balance it out a little bit more and keep Andre's tyres and looking a bit more favourable as he sets the fastest lap of the race with 33.562. Andre Molnar is flying in the early stages and now catching at the rate of knots to the back of Leo Lund's car. I think behind, we've got Luca Rapassa, Sergio Sabrino making a bit of contact on the exit, and that's front right end plate gone for Luca Rapassa. Contact between the pair, and that's a huge crash into the wall, and that is both drivers out of the race. Luca Rapassa and Sergio Sabrino with an absolutely fatal collision around turn number 2 and into the barriers. That is a humongous crash, and the biggest one I've seen so far on F1 25.
Well, I was not expecting that, but you could see it happening at the little bit of contact and the squabbling at the exit or the entry of turn 2, and boom, it went absolutely massive on that. Let's see what drivers do, especially Angelo here, lap 20 of 28. Don't really want to set softs, do we? We don't want to. Well, we do. We want to see how drivers react to everything, but the drivers probably think it's a bit too early to go onto a set of softs. Will they have a set of mediums? We don't know. Andre probably won't go on to a fresh set of mediums because there would be no need, so he could get the lead of the race. It just bunches everything back up, and the advantage that Angelo has now been, wiped out.
Absolutely, I'm sure they're going to come into stop as well. As he heads the final corner, he's staying out. Angelo Di Hortensio is staying out. Obviously, we don't know the tyre allocation. I'm not sure what's left, but the hards are staying on. Leo Lund is coming into the pit lane. I think it's worth to do so. Andre Molnar also coming into pit as well. So 8 laps on the clock, and surely if everyone else comes in behind as well, Gabriel Quintino's coming in, Ryan Grob, and Larry Tulker isn't coming in though. He's staying out in P7. No, he's not. Sorry, he's coming into the pit lane. I don't know if I had a bit of desync there. Riyad Sprogis, he is staying out. So yeah, Angelo Di Hortensio, I think, might be left out there by himself on the harder compounded tyres. Riyad is on the medium compounded tyres, quite early stages in that stint, as they have came in for an extra set of the medium compounded tyres. So Andre Molnar has been reset and might just be in favour to take the race win. And if he can get through the traffic of Leo Lund on the mediums, and Leo Lund went for another set of hards.
Like you say, we don't know what tyre choices they chose, and this could be the only thing Leo thought he could do. But do we have the whole Max Verstappen situation being on the harder compounder tyres in Spain? Who knows? But Cameron Dowds is up into P5. He pitted later. He didn't have to pit again. They've not had much use on them. Cameron's had an absolute, I want to say, a little bit of a master streak here.
He's been fantastic. He's absolutely been fantastic in that first stint, holding everybody up. Not doing anything wrong, that's for certain. He's definitely got his elbows out, especially around turn number 15. But what a race it could be, and especially without a penalty, if he keeps it that way, it could be putting under pressure Leo Lund and Andre Molnar, and especially Leo Lund on the harder compounded tyres. But when everyone crossed the line, and if he doesn't have a penalty, then it could definitely go in his favour. And do you know what? It could be on for a podium if he can get through on Riyad and Angelo Di Hortensio. You never know what can happen with the front two as well. So anything's up for grabs for Cameron in this stage, and it could be an absolutely dream race for the Williams. Wow.
It could be indeed. It's great to see Cameron Dowds succeed on the PC side when I've seen him through the console side through the last few years, and he's done a great job there. But if you were Angelo right now, you've seen all your competitors pit. In this respect for Angelo, it's a bit like Lewis Hamilton back in Abu Dhabi all those years ago now, it seems. What would you do? How do you mentally prepare yourself for the final few laps? Because you are a little bit of a sitting duck.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know what I'd go through my mind at this stage. At least you've got Riyad Sprogis behind. He's still on fresher mediums as well, so he's definitely still going to put him under pressure and probably get through on Angelo Di Hortensio. But with Leo Lund and Andre Molnar setting fantastic times already in the lights qualifying in the first stint, second stint, has been flying as Andre Molnar in this race, and now on the fresher compounded tyres, he's definitely going to come through the ranks. I think it's just about damage limitation at this point for Angelo Di Hortensio. Obviously, he doesn't have a penalty. If he keeps it that way, it could benefit him at the end. But yeah, damage limitation now for Angelo. And it's about just trying not to lose as much as you can. Gabriel Quintino, by the way, is on the softs. Just noticed that one. That could be interesting in the next stint.
It could be indeed. Well, short-term games for... Is it going to be worth it here? Oh, there's a penalty for Larry Tolkey there for a severe collision with John Marquardt. I'm guessing that is to do with the desync that they have there, as I think that's Larry Tolkey just pulling to one side. I don't really 100% know what's going on with Larry Tolkey here. It must be the desync, which is such a shame through all this. When the safety car comes in at this track, at Circuit of the America, where do you think is the best place for you to push away as the de facto safety car?
I'm gonna guess Angelo D'Ortenzio might leave it as late as possible to push, but I'm just not sure when he does it, and it's gonna be interesting depending on where Riaz can try and get past as well. He's gonna want to put him under pressure as much as he possibly can. So Riaz as well, trying to keep Leo Lund behind Andre. So I think Angelo might leave it as late as he possibly can. But Riaz needs to guess that and fly through on the kick Sauber. But to get away, it's going to be interesting with D'Ortenzio on a 10-lap old hard. It's going to be miserable, this final 5-lap shootout, really.
Yeah, it does unfortunately feel like for some of these drivers, Leo Lund as well, maybe there was a mistake clicking through the tyre choice. We just don't know. Be interesting to hear the point later on. But Riehards needs to do what Gabriel didn't do right and get that start, like you quite rightly mentioned, from the safety or the VSC it was before. But he passed too soon, did Gabriel, and got himself a penalty. Riehards Progress needs to do it absolutely perfect, or otherwise he could still be a sitting duck to Leo Lund behind, because those hard tyres will be better than Riehards in a lap or two.
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. 6-lap old mediums. Obviously, I've been on the safety car probably for 3 of those laps, 2 or 3 of them laps. So, how much life has he got left in those mediums? I could say the same about Angelo's hards, but there's definitely not much left compared to Leo Lund and Andre Cameron, everyone in behind. I really want to see Gabriel Quintino fly through the order as much as he possibly can in his early laps, send some moves that could make it very spicy in the midfield pack. But Riyadh, let's see how much life he's got left in the mediums compared to everybody else's, as a safety car is coming in on this lap. Here we go.
Angelo D'Ortenzio is the de facto safety car. Will go as slow as they possibly can through this last bit. Let the safety car go in, and then they will decide when to shoot out. It's going to be interesting, because you don't want to go too slow, because you will lose all the tyre heat that you've had and you've built back up to a perfect temperature. But they are going quite slow at the moment. I've seen some interesting stuff from, unfortunately, Larry Tolkey with that desync in the background. I will keep reminding people of that one. It's not his driving. It is the desync that is costing the issues there. But away we go, and Angelo has gone before turn 19, which is something that I don't think either of us expected. And I don't think it's caught Riehards Progress out. It's definitely not called Leo Lund out, because Leo Lund is already all over the back of Riehards Progress as they come down the start-finish straight to start lap 24 of 28. Leo Lund is going up the inside of Riehards Progress. He's got the move done. He's kind of forcing it through. There's a mistake from Angelo, and Leo Lund is through. They're side by side as they head on through turn 2, turn 3. But Leo Lund has taken the lead of this Grand Prix on lap 24 on those fresh set of hard tyres.
That was absolutely perfect for Leo Lund to fly to the inside line. I think Angelo should have left it that little bit later as he got caught up at the final corner and on the exit and in turn 1. He had absolutely no traction at all. Riyadh Sprogis right on the rear of Angelo D'Ortenzio as well, but still having to look in his mirrors to defend from Andre Molnar as on the exit of turn number 11 is right on the rear and in the slipstream. The gap under a tenth of a second. Let's see if Andre Molnar can fight to the inside line and maybe try and put pressure on Angelo D'Ortenzio as well as we head down to turn number 12. He's gone to the inside line of not just one, he's went on Angelo D'Ortenzio as well. He's pushed him well and truly slowly widen off the track as Andre Molnar gets ahead. Di Hortensio now to the inside line. He's stuck it down the inside line, and the outside line is going to Andre Di Hortensio. There's contact between the pair. Di Hortensio and Andre Molnar sent spinning. It's promoted Cameron. It's promoted Joe Murphy and Ryan Grob ahead, but it's contact with Di Hortensio and Molnar. It's not exactly ideal fighting what we wanted on the restart, but carnage as expected.
2 seconds between Richard Sprogis and Leo Lund. Leo Lund may have absolutely pulled, well, the wool over everyone's eyes. He's on the fresh set of hards when everyone else is expecting mediums and softs. He's doing something incredible. Up the inside, go Joe Murphy on Cameron Dowds. The two console greats, I suppose you could call them, over the last couple of years have been, well, coming together a little bit more in the PC side of things in the ends of this race. And Joe Murphy has got past Cameron Dowds for the time being. And now Cameron Dowds looks like the driver that will try and effectively take it to Leo Lund.
Absolutely. So Fagaro Quintino already dropping off, it seems, and now fighting with Larry, who's also had the desync issues all the way throughout the race. Riyad Sprogis still at the front of this train. Joe Murphy in behind with Cameron it further in P4 and Ryan Grob. Then Anzo Di Hortensio still the big brick wall in the way of that big second train as Andre Molnar trying to fight his way through as well. Joel Marquardt has done it to the inside line. As further up the grid we've seen Riyad Sprogis getting overtaken by Joe Murphy, who goes to the inside line. His contact behind with Joel Marquardt and Andre Molnar, as Andre Molnar has pushed him well off the track with contact way before the apex. And now further behind we've seen Angelo Di Hortensio nearly hitting the rear and spinning Andre Molnar, who's going to the inside line of Joel Marquardt, who leaves the door open, but still Angelo Di Hortensio, what's happened to him at the back?
He's caught. There was a Haas car that's going diving up the inside into turn 15, and well, more carnage. No one driving into the pits just yet. This is such a shame for Leo Lund, because I think Leo deserved it after that. That was a perfect kind of restart from them. But now Joe Murphy with a penalty to their name as well. We got a safety car. Are we going to finish this race under the safety car? Or is a safety car in this lap? I can't remember if they've added that to the game or not, where you can finish the race under the safety car. Because usually you need to get 2 laps of racing.
Yeah, I've never seen a finish under safety car. So I'm guessing it's got to come in this lap, right? But I mean, these cars are absolutely everywhere. This has been 26 laps of chaos and carnage here at the Circuit of the Americas. Uncertainty and strategy in these safety cars has thrown absolutely everything into the equation, and we've now got 4 drivers out of the race: Tony Heitler, Sergio Sabrino, Luca Rapassa. After them two had a huge crash. Angelo Di Hortensio, I mean, punted off the track from what I heard. But Riyad Sprogis is in prime position to maybe win this race if they have randomly added finishing under safety car due to the drivers ahead having penalties. But yeah, Leo Lund, it's a shame for him because he'd gapped the field and had a fantastic restart. But yeah, so far racing standards have been interesting, that's for certain. But hopefully we get 2 laps of racing action, of clean racing action, as it is in this lap. So we do still have those 2 laps at the end of the race.
Thank goodness for that. And hopefully in these final 2 laps, they will get their act together a little bit as well. As, nope, Leo Lund is going incredibly slowly. Maybe. Wow, look at that. That is minus nearly speeds by Leo Lund. This is incredibly slow to get through. And you don't want to cool your tyres down too much through all this. We'll have to wait and see how it will all go down. But it just felt like it was always going to be very, very elbows out as soon as you saw Andre and Angelo coming together like this. This is really slow from Leo Lund, and away he goes really early. Absolutely massively early from Leo Lund, holding Joe Murphy back as much as he could. It's 0.6 of a second between the two of them at the moment. Richard Sprogis, well, dropping away from Joe Murphy just a little bit, with Cameron Dowds trying to sneak away through in the Williams on the Alpine. Let's see how it will work as they head on down the start-finish straight for lap 27, the penultimate lap here. And thank goodness it is a social race in the PC side of things, because it has been very chaotic tonight so far, hasn't it, Alex?
Absolutely, to say the least. But Cameron Dowds needs to try and get through on Riyad Sprogis as well if he wants to try and win this Grand Prix. But Leo Lund leads the way so far. It's 3 attempts to Joe Murphy, 8 attempts back to Riyad Sprogis. Then Cameron Dowds putting the Alpine under pressure as we head for the penultimate time down to turn number 11, as Riyad Sprogis is going to have to surely try to stay ahead of Cameron Dowds. But especially when we get the DRS Open on the final lap, is going to see inside line is Ryan Grob on Cameron Dowds. It's side by side between the pair, but as he gets the foot down and the traction down, Cameron Dowds does manage to stay ahead and now is too far behind Riyad Sprogis to make a move to the inside line and fight into the inside line. Riyad Grob with the outside line as well, Ryan Grob, sorry, with the outside line on Cameron Dowds, but still having to slot in behind, but putting him under pressure. But Leo Lund with a decent enough restart. Riyad Sprogis 1.1 now behind, and Cameron Dowds well and truly under pressure from Ryan Grob.
This is real tense stuff for the final podium position at the moment, because Riyad Sprogis is 1.1 seconds behind the front two. They're pulling away, and if they're not careful, they won't get the win of this race if they let them go away too far. Leo Lund on the set of medium hard compound tyres, which will just become better and better in comparison to everyone else's tyres. That we have DRS for the final lap of this race. And, well, it has been absolutely chaos is the only way to describe it. Joe Murphy trying to find a way through Leo Lund, but it's not happening at the moment. Cameron Dowds also trying to find a way past Riyad Sprogis, but it's not happening at the moment. And his race has definitely not gone the way we were expecting it to go, has it, Alex? But it's been an entertaining spectacle nonetheless, as we finish this race very, very shortly.
Absolutely, it's definitely been an interesting spectacle. There seems to be drivers who turn up today to play bowling instead of racing. But as we head down to turn number 11 for the final time of racing action, this could be the fight for lead with Cameron Dowds and Riyad Sprogis is on the exit as we get the traction down once again. The gap, 4/10 of a second. Joe Murphy and Leo Lund, they're still fighting up ahead, but Leo Lund stays ahead. So Cameron Dowds, Riyad Sprogis, Ryan Grob, surely going to fight this one out for the lead. If they can actually keep within that 3 seconds fight the inside line, there goes Cameron Dowds on Riyad Sprogis and gets the inside line further back. We've got more carnage and chaos, but Cameron Dowds needs to watch out and try and stay in that 3 second of the leader, but I don't think he has. Leo Lund has managed to gap Cameron Dowds as so far as well. As we come round, it's 6 seconds for the front two, so it will be Cameron Dowds who comes around the long multi-apex right-hander into the final 2 corners. What a race it's been for Cameron Dowds, up 13 positions. He's going to make it up 15 positions from 16th on the grid. Cameron Dowds crosses the line after this chaos unfolded race for Cameron Dowds and takes the top spot. What a race from the Williams.
Well, Cameron Dowds had to, showed the best he could, as we're just waiting to see Larry Tolke just park up on the inside there, deciding, nope, I'm not going to finish this. But fair play to Cameron Dowds with Riyad Sprogis there in second place as well. Quite tight in the end with the penalties and everything coming through. We weren't expecting, we were expecting penalties, but maybe not that many. But this was, this is why we get social races, isn't it? So they can get the argy-bargy out of the way at these points.
Hopefully that's it all out the way here at COTA. Very interesting standards, but do you know what? We've had a spectacle to watch before going into the season. But yeah, Cameron Dowds takes the top spot from starting so far. Dowds, you see the new graphic as well. Of cleanest driver, most overtakes, driver of the day, fastest lap and race winner. Cleanest driver, I think should be awarded to the commentary team. So Cameron Dowds takes the race win. Driver of the day, I don't know who I could possibly give it to today, to be honest.
We'll leave that one for now. Let's move on. So the winner was Cameron Dowds with Riyad Sprogis and Ryan Grob rounding out the rest of the podium. But Cameron does take victory from 16th on the grid to first. That's exactly what he wants to continue doing this season. Leo Lund in 4th, 5th to Tom Roberts, 6th to Joe Murphy, with 7th to Andre Molnar after an incident with front row sitter Angelo as well. 8th to Tamash, Joel Marquards in 9th and 10th. Rounding out the points, or what would have been points, was Patrick. Then there was Ryan, Keedon, Gabrielle, Daniel, JST and Larry Tolke, with Angelo, Luca, Sergio and Tony Hatala not finishing this race. And enough about that. Let's go back to us, because my goodness me, that was a race. But hopefully, I mean, it was entertaining, but hopefully we won't get to see much of that throughout the season.
Yes, that is the racing standards, just reality check, I think, before going into the season. But Cameron said in the chat, we've got the win for Cameron today. So, yeah, congrats to him overall, fighting through the order, fighting through the chaos. And, yeah, literally, it's a foggy area of a Circuit of the Americas shootout. But going into the season, we shouldn't see anything like that, that's for certain.
Definitely not. And let's not take it away from Cameron Downs, because he still had to fight through it all. He still had to, play the game, and that defensive job he did on the hard compounded tyres when they were pretty much ready to explode. He did a really good job there with him and Tom Roberts holding drivers up, and that could be what effectively got him the race win tonight. So fair play. And something that I've noticed from Cameron, he's always been a race driver instead of a qualifier, so he's always qualified a little bit lower down, and as soon as he works that out, he'll be even higher up the grid. Not that he could be even higher up the grid, because he won the race today. But yeah, Alex, I enjoyed it. But yeah, let's hope that the racing isn't always like that.
That's for certain, yeah. I think one thing we should check on as well is definitely the strategies out there as well. It was very interesting to see the hards in the first stint compared to the mediums and how quick they died off. So that's something we need to keep in mind going into the season. And yeah, it would have been more interesting to see if the fresher medium runners could have caught up in the end to the older hard runners in that second stint. But I'm sure we might see something like that during the season.
Hopefully we will. Well, I mean, I honestly think we're gonna see drivers having to be a little bit more tyre saving, but in a good way. I don't mean like we've seen in the past where they're literally having to be on tiptoes around on the tyres, but doing it in a way that they have to do it early enough so they've got some tyres at the end of the stint. Like when Lewis Hamilton gets called, it's hammer time, so they're able to do like 2 laps of real solid driving at the end of their stint. And we'll wait and see how the season will wrap up with that. We will, we'll know very, very shortly. But yeah, Alex, it's been a really great race. Any final words from yourself?
No, it's been a pleasure as always to be back here in WOR for another social race. But heading into the season, it's going to be exciting to see the strategy changes and how people react to the new F1 game. But obviously, it's been a pleasure to by your side as well in the commentary box.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. And hopefully our paths will cross throughout the season as well. It's been absolutely great to be here on the PC side of things. There's another social race tomorrow, the console social race, and be sure to check in on the double Josephs tomorrow. It's Kotkask and Joseph for the commentary team there. But for now, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed the chaos that has been the Circuit of the Americas. But from myself and Alex, we will catch you when we next see you in the stream. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.